Hi guys, welcome back to my home art studio and welcome back to week 3 of remote learning. I'm going to turn this around. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there we go. All right, so last week, kindergartners, we talked about line. And the week before, we talked about color. And those are the elements of art. Well, we're going to continue on working through the elements of art. And this week's focus is on texture. Now, I attached this last week and we talked about this. The elements of art, these are the tools that we use to create art, and the principles are how we use the tools. Well, we've talked about line, color, and today we're going to talk about texture. Now, there are actually two types of texture. Texture, actual texture or real texture, is the way something feels. So take your hand right now and feel your shoulder. Feel the clothing. You might even have on a fluffy sweater, but mine is like a cotton shirt. It feels a little, it's soft because you want soft clothing on your skin. Ooh, feel your hair. My hair's curly, so it feels kind of bumpy. Or the table in front of you. Table feels really smooth. Ooh, I've got carpet in here. When I touch the carpet, it feels kind of fuzzy. So texture is the way something actually feels. Now, there's also something in art that we call visual texture. Visual texture is a texture that you can only see. It's like when you look at a picture of a porcupine, you know that the porcupine might be prickly. But you can't actually touch the picture and feel those prickly porcupines. Or like a fish's scale. If you've ever touched a fish, the outside is a little scaly. But when you touch the picture of the fish, you can't feel those scales. Well, here's an example of texture. And what this is saying is like, this is smooth, the apple, that's a smooth texture. Rough, like the tree bark, or I'm not sure what that is. Hard, like bricks. Soft, like a cloud or cotton ball. Woven texture, that's like a lot of clothing. And bumpy and lumpy. Bumpy was like my hair for sure. Jagged or irregular, looks kind of prickly. And ridged, those are kind of like stairs. Okay, that's texture. Texture is the way something actually feels. And visual texture is the way something looks like it feels. Like I can't touch this and feel that it's hard because it's just a picture. I also have another one that shows different textures. Scaly, furry, and hairy, rocky, wet. Wet is a texture. You can feel wetness. Soft, rough, bumpy, slick, prickly, pointy, flaky, fluffy. So these are all visual textures that you can see, but you can't feel because they're on the paper. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to make a texture monster. And it doesn't have to be a scary monster. It can be a funny monster. I'm going to show you my example of my texture monster. Here's my texture monster. If you look close at it, you can see this looks kind of like it has like a little rough texture. And then down here, it looks like it has a bumpy texture. And then right here, it even has a different one. So before you start this, if you would like to go find some textures, pause this video and I want you to go find some textures. Now let me show you examples before you pause. I have this. This is going to give a pretty cool, real, actual texture. I also used this, which is a nice woven texture. And then you need about 3 different textures. Then I actually used this basket. Hold on, let me grab the pink basket. I used the side of this basket, look at this, for a texture. So if you want to pause it, pause the video right now and go grab you 3 things that might have a texture. Think about bottoms of shoes, all kinds of things. Okay? I'll see you back in a minute. Now, you gathered your textures. And you probably saw some examples of textures. I'm going to get my paper and my board, and we're going to start making our texture monster. Now this guy is vertical, which means up and down. So I want to make a wider monster this time for a different example. So I'm going to turn my paper, my board this way. Okay? I'm going to grab my pencil. Now think about all those lines we used last week. We used zigzag, we did wavy. I'm going to pull my paper back out to check it. We did scalloped, we did curved. So think about all of those lines and we're going to use those lines to draw. So I think right now I'm going to draw the top of my monster's head and I'm going to do a curved line. Look at that. There's a curved line. Then I think I'm going to do a wavy line. Oh! It's looking kind of like a Pac-Man monster. Okay, whoop, let me erase that little line right there. All right, now let's give our monster some eyes. So I'm going to do one big eye, and I'm going to make a dot, a big dot. A dot is a circle colored in, and then I want a smaller dot. You can do yours however. 2 small ones, 2 big ones. It's up to you, but I have a bigger dot, and I have a smaller dot. Okay? Now, I'm going to draw a circle around these dots to make it look like this is the pupil, and I'm going to make the whites of the eye. So this time, like the eyeball. So I'm going to draw a big circle around it like this, and then maybe this one's going to have an eye like this. Look at that. So I did a circle, and that's not a circle. That's an oval, but it works. Look at this crazy, funny monster. All right, now let's give him a mouth. So we've done, that's kind of like a dotted line. We've done a curved line, a wavy line. Let's do a horizontal line. You can leave him like this if you want. He doesn't look too happy. But I think I'm going to do another curved line like this. Ha! You can make teeth if you want. This guy has teeth, but I'm not going to put teeth on this one. I think it's just going to let him be like this. Maybe, you know what? I might do another curved line for a top lip. There you go. Then let's do legs. This guy has 3 legs. I'm going to give this one 2. And then I'm going to give him square feet. Look at this. Boop. Boop. Okay. And then I don't think this one needs arm because it looks like he has arms. But I am going to do scalloped antennas like this. Pencil keeps wearing out. All right. Now you're probably wondering, Miss York, all you just did was lines. Well, now we're going to add the texture. So I'm going to make sure you can see it. I'm going to take this first bit right here, and I'm going to do what we call a rubbing. So I'm going to put, let me make sure you can see. Let's make sure that, oh, there we go. I'll just have to hold it up. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it under the part where I want to put the texture. So I want this to be my foot texture right here. Excuse me. So I'm going to put this down like this, and I'm going to pick a color. We've also talked about color. So let's do blue. And I'm just going to rub right on top. And look, Do you see that texture right there? Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? Now I'm going to slide it over so it's under this foot. And so we're actually using a real texture to make a visual texture. All right, now let's put this down and try something different. Let's try the side of the basket. Are you ready? That means I'm going to have to take this off of my clipboard. Put the basket right here. I'll hold it up for you. There we go. And let's try. Now it's behind the body right here, but it's not behind the head, so we'll have to fix that in a minute. Let's do green. I think green. Let's do this violet red. You ready? Now I'm going to have to hold it and turn. It's kind of tricky, but we can do this. You ready? All right, watch this. Whoa, look at that texture. You can kind of see the basket's texture coming through. And this is called a rubbing because you're using the side of your crayon to rub. I'm going to have to move it down so I can get this top part of and make a texture on your monster. Look at that. Isn't that funny? So now my monster has texture on his feet, his body. And I had one more texture piece, which was my sketchbook that had this, paper's falling out of it, that had this woven texture. So I'm going to use this and let's put it in the mouth right here. Let's do green. Look at that. And then I might do the green up here in this little part for his, like that. All right, there's my texture funny monster. Now you could also outline yours with black, but I would like to see you have 3 different texture things that you found around your house. Finished texture monster. He has 3 different textures on here. I'd like to see you have 3 different textures on your monster. Think about the lines that you could use. Think about last week. Make them any color you want. You can add a background. Background's what's behind the object. This is the background. Or if you don't want to, you can leave it like this. I'd love to see your creations. Each one will definitely be different. Look at this. Aren't they pretty funny? All right, guys, it's so good to be with you. I'll see you next week when we focus on another element of art. And be safe and be creative. Look below. I'll have some other activities that you can extend your art learning. See you guys later. If you'd love to share, send me an email. Bye, guys.